You have been told that the Europeans, the Americans, the colonialists, and slavery are the reason why Africa is poor, backward, underdeveloped, and failing to fix itself. I'm here to tell you who is really to blame for our problems, who is the most dangerous person in Africa. Welcome to Citizen Concerned, where we remind you to beware of the comrades. I'm Katla. Please subscribe and follow, like and comment, share and repost. #SmartVoters, #Citizen Concerned. The reason why we are where we are is because the majority of South Africans and Africans are highly uninformed and uneducated regarding the effects of certain policies and certain decisions. We are not talking about matric and degrees here. We are talking about knowing which policies are good and which are bad, knowing what the short and long-term effects of bad policies are. Majority of South Africans and Africans wake up on voting day uninformed, cast a vote for policies that lead to the further poverty and underdevelopment of the country and continent. And that is why I say the most dangerous person in South Africa and in Africa is an uninformed voter. Because ignorant citizens vote for rubbish politicians. Yes, Europeans, Americans, colonialists, and slavery have had and continue to have effects on the status of South Africa and Africa. But by now, those who call themselves leaders should have created policies that free us from those effects. Singapore was colonized by Britain, but they are doing far better than South Africa and Africa today because the politicians in power have put policies in place that not only set the people of the nations free from the negative effects of colonialism, but also create wealth, advancement, and development. They do not continuously in every single meeting, in every single campaign, in every single speech remind the people about how Britain once colonized them. No, this is what they say and do instead.
Good ministers are not just those who kiss babies and smile.
If you don't have that natural zest, a desire to do things for other people, not just for yourself and your family, then you can't be a leader. You must have an interest in people. And if you want to last, you can't break faith with them. You break faith, they distrust you, you're out. You can be the best communicator in the world. They're always having that question mark against you. I have lasted because I learned very early on, never say something which I'm not going to do. I don't have to say it, that I'm not going to do it. But if I say I'm going to do it, I have to do it. And they know that, and they're comfortable with me.
We've got jobs. We are moving from 3-room flats to 4-room flats. Expressways, tunnels underneath, underground. That is the sunshine after, but there were dark moments, very dark moments when I could not be sure we would ever get out of that tunnel.
These virtues are valuable, but no longer sufficient. Now we also have to be not just economically vibrant, but an exciting, fascinating city to visit.
I make no apologies for collecting the most talented team I could find. Without them, none of you would be enjoying life today in Singapore. I say this without any compunction.
One lesson which I learned from RI has been important in the way in which I subsequently governed Singapore. I believed completely in the meritocratic system. I'm not interested who your father or mother is, what station in life, what religion, what language.
Let me start with how we are giving our young the best possible start in life, so that anyone who works hard will have a chance to succeed regardless of starting point or family background, because that's what meritocracy in Singapore is about.
An uninformed voter is the most dangerous person in the country because they determine whether our country is run by people like Lee Kuan Yew, whose policies lead to the success of Singapore, or people like Robert Mugabe, whose policies lead to the failure of Zimbabwe. Many people vote without knowing what they are voting for. In this day and age, people still vote for the ANC just because it fought against apartheid. In this day and age, there are still people who do not know what the dangers of socialism are. In this day and age, people do not know that capitalism has been a part of Africa for thousands of years, long before any European, American, or colonizers set foot on African soil. From the days of the pharaohs, when the Egyptians bought slaves for the building of their pyramids, from when Africans mined gold and hunted elephants to trade gold and ivory for cloths, beads, grains, salt, and other commodities. Africans have been trading with each other, with the Arabs and with the Europeans. Africa has always been capitalist. But Pan-Africanists like Robert Mugabe, Julius Malema, PLO Lumumba, Joshua Maponga, and others make it seem like Africans knew nothing about trade and capitalism, and we're just victims of the ways and ideologies of the Europeans and Americans. They focus on issues, true, false, or partly true, that make you feel oppressed and powerless, that you are nothing and can achieve nothing, all because of Europeans and Americans. And the sad reality is you don't research for yourself. You don't interrogate what they are feeding you and seeing if indeed it is true or half true or entirely false. You just accept it and walk around as a victim when you can and should be a victor. To this day, many Africans do not know that there are tribes that were very powerful right here in Africa, in areas like Ghana, Benin, and Nigeria, where human sacrifice was very common. In Dahomey, hundreds of African slaves would be sacrificed in their rituals every year. Thousands would be killed whenever kings died in those kingdoms. These Africans sacrificed thousands of their own so-called brothers. Why is it that Maponga, Malema, Lumumba, and Ramaphosa never speak about this in their speeches? Because they would much rather focus on labeling white people as the enemy when really they are the incompetent ones. You as a voter must not just listen and clap to any rubbish given to you. You must interrogate what you hear. Use that Wi-Fi or data to do a quick search on what you're being told. Being a voter is a serious responsibility. Don't just spend your days dancing and drinking alcohol and living your best life. Spend some time to discuss the issues that concern South Africa. And by discuss, I don't mean taking what you have been told and just spreading it in your circle of associates without checking if it is even true. I mean, read and research on our past as South Africa and Africa. Read about the effects of the policies that have been implemented by our politicians. Read on what is leading other countries to success. Read. Do your job as a voter, because you as a voter are the most dangerous person in our country. And when you vote with your emotions, believing in lies and false promises without an understanding of the effects of those policies that those who you want to vote for stand for, you destroy our country. When you vote with hate, you destroy our country. When you vote for a Zulu just because he's Zulu, you destroy our country. Tribalism has no value in politics. Race has no value in politics. Stop hating people just because they are Tsonga, White, Zulu, Venda, or whatever. Look at their policies as that is what matters. Are they competent? Are they corrupt? Are they efficient? Are they wasteful? Are they former convicts? Are they racist or tribalist? What is their standing on healthcare, economics, religion, border security, land, capitalism, and foreigners? These are the questions to check and ask to everyone who wants your vote. Those who went before us fought for us to have democracy. But democracy is useless when it is in the hands of uninformed voters. Actually, democracy is dangerous when the citizens do not read and research. And South Africa is exactly that. A country with a dangerous democracy because you as a citizen, you as a voter, do not realize what your responsibility is before voting. You as a voter do not realize the power of that X on the ballot paper. Take time to find out the policy of open borders. What does it mean for our clinics, our crime rates, and job opportunities? The policy of socialism. What does it mean for businesses and salaries and our standard of life? The policy of land expropriation without compensation. What does it mean for the stability of our economy? The various policies that various politicians are proposing, what are the effects that they will have on our nation? Wake up now. Do your job. Read and research now. Stop sleeping only to wake up in May to go vote. You're sleeping, South Africa, which makes you the most dangerous person in South Africa. So please, please, please wake up and do your job. Remember that ignorant citizens vote for rubbish politicians. So instead of being the most dangerous person in South Africa through your vote, become the most powerful person in South Africa by using your vote right. Thank you so much for watching. This is Citizen Concerned, where we remind you to beware of the comrades. I'm Katla Moagi. Please subscribe and follow, like and comment, share and repost. #SmartVoters, #Citizen Concerned.